Hello. This morning we have a Sansui Model 250. You don't see these very often. I don't want to say they're rare. I just don't think they sold a lot of these when they were for sale. I don't think Sansui had quite taken off yet in the consumer market here in the States. This is obviously a tube receiver. It's low wattage. I've read anything from 8 watts per channel to 5 watts per channel, or possibly 10 watts per channel, but the recommendations are that you use small speakers on it to get your best results out of your output. I've got these hooked up to these Panasonic speakers. They're not horribly large and they're certainly not very efficient, but I was going to hook up some of my old Radio Shack Minimus 7s on them, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. But what I am going to show you is I'm going to turn this thing on. I've got the hood off already. It's got an eye tube over here, which is kind of on its way out, but tubes are lighting. And we've got some output. There's the balance. Bass. I can't see getting a copyright strike for that. This is on a religious station that's just up the street from me, and they play this kind of music all day, and I don't think it's copyrighted, but the last video I made, I had like 8 seconds of an FM station playing, and it flagged me for copyright. If you can believe that, 8 seconds. And it gave me the opportunity to delete that music, so I guess I did that to put the video up. But anyway, it's all the crap you have to deal with these days, being censored by everybody. And anyway, this thing has 12 tubes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's actually got 15 tubes in it, which is quite impressive for such a small receiver that puts out a minimum amount of wattage. But it does have multiplex in it. That's the multiplex board right there. Those are the output tubes. Those are the output transformers. It's got a nice, fairly large Sansui marked transformer over there. This is what I call doing the grope. Always checking, make sure that the filter caps and the transformer aren't getting hot. Now, before I started this video, I actually had this hooked up to a dim light bulb, and it was coming on pretty good. I measured the voltage coming into this back of the receiver, and it was only at 55 volts. So I'm thinking this thing probably draws a lot more current than the size of the light bulb I have in there. I think I had a 40 watt in there, but the problem is you can't find incandescent bulbs anymore. I'm always on the lookout for larger incandescent bulbs, but I haven't found any yet. So that's kind of a problem. I used to have a really nice 150 watt clear bulb, but of course it got broken. What else is new? Anyway, there's the front of it. The eye tube's coming out a little bit. Can you see that? Apparently the panel lights are El Morte. But it's got a speaker switch, noise filter, and a loudness switch. I'm going to turn the loudness on, which made absolutely no difference whatsoever. There's the balance. bass and treble, and you got tape monitor, mono and stereo mode, and AFC. You know, some of the lettering's worn off on the control panel there, but it's actually a pretty cool little tuner receiver. I've had this for 5 or 6 years, and every 6, 8, 10 months I drag it out and plug it in and listen to it for a while. In case anybody's curious, it's got voltage taps for 220, 100, and 117, and what is that other one over there? Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, 210, maybe?
Is God trying to get through to us? C.S. Lewis said that God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but in our pain.
I'm going to turn that down so I don't get a copyright strike. I have the cover for it. I guess the next step, now that I have it on the bench, is to pull all the tubes out and check them. Then I'm going to pull the bottom off of here and start looking at cap values, make sure nothing's... Really haven't done a whole lot to this since I had it. That kind of goes with my thing about molesting stuff unnecessarily if it doesn't need it. Because you know what, and I'm going to say this again, I've said it before, there's a lot of stuff on eBay now that's for sale that somebody's been in, and they do kind of a lackluster or half-assed job on trying to repair something. And usually what happens is after they screw it up, they kind of put it back together, and then they sell it on eBay as not working or untested, and you get hold of it, and you take the bottom off of it, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's all kinds of stuff hanging out there, there's wrong values, you have no idea. I'm really against people doing that. And the unfortunate fact of the matter is there's a lot of YouTube videos out there now of people that are repairing audio equipment, which is fine, and I'm all for that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to buy something, sit down at your dining room table with a screwdriver and a pair of pliers, take it apart, put a couple of caps in it, and you're good to go. That's not the way this works most of the time. You have to know a little bit about what you're doing. But they kind of make it really seem easy on the YouTube videos because a lot of it's heavily edited. Some of the guys I watch on YouTube, they'll do a one shot where it takes, they'll have an hour and a half of footage going through everything. Other ones, it's like clip, 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 and you go from one end to another, and it looks like it was done in 15 minutes, and the thing works great, and you're good to go. So that's my rant for this, but I just thought that this was an interesting box to show. The good thing is it hasn't smoked while I've been making this video. And it doesn't smell. And it's not getting hot. And the tubes aren't red plating, so I guess we're good to go here for that. You gotta see the humor in this, you really do. I don't know how many times I've blown stuff up just doing one single thing that I wasn't paying attention. You plug it back in. Yeah, you can have it on a dim bulb, or you can have it on an isolation transformer, or you can do it on a Variac, but it's still going to bite you. It'll always bite you. I've seen enough caps blow up. I've seen enough tubes pop. So I'm not jaded, I'm just cautious. And sometimes you have to just be like, ugh, either move forward or don't do anything. Get paralyzed with anxiety that maybe you screwed it up and you don't want to power it back on. That's my motto. The older you get, the more anxietal and the more cautious you get about everything, because you have seen some stuff. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. You can see it's pretty crusty. I really have done nothing to clean this the whole time I've had it. And to be honest with you, when I first got this years and years ago, It sounded a lot worse than it does now. And I have cleaned all the tube sockets. I've cleaned all the pots. That was a long time ago. And it's kind of been coming along. I clean these tuner caps with non-residue solvent. And everybody's like, oh no, don't spray those. Well, yeah, you can if you use a non-residue solvent. Because what that means is there's no residue. And it cleans most of the dust and crap off. And it doesn't, and I mean, there's so many people telling you not to do things. You know, one of the things that is constant is, oh, replace the caps. Got to have new caps. Got to replace the filter caps. Well, I'll tell you what, if the filter caps are running hot, which they're not, if I was getting a buzz, which I'm not, yeah, I would do that. But if it's working, why? I'm just enjoying it for what it is in its native state. And if I end up wanting to sell it one of these years, it'll still be pristine and somebody will be a lot more appreciative of it. What I might try to do is clean it a little bit just to get the corrosion off of it, but I'm trying to store these things pretty good. Here, I'll give you some more enjoyment for your Sunday. This is Sunday music. I really don't think this music's copyrighted, but who the heck knows? Alright, catch you later. That's what it looks like at night. All 15 tubes on this thing. Still listening to the church music because I didn't get a copy strike right when I uploaded this. I'm going to try to attach this to the one I uploaded today. Get some tube goodness in here. It's having a real hard time focusing in the dark. Well, you get the idea.
Thanks for listening to WDVW LP, Port St. Joe, Florida.
There it is in the light. I had a problem with the left speaker when I came in here to film this. It was distorting and cutting out. And I cleaned the balance pot and the volume pot. That volume pot seemed to be what was causing. But it's, I think I got it. I haven't checked the tubes yet, but it's entirely possible. One of them bad boys is bad. We're getting old. Yeah, push-pull output on that thing. Isn't that amazing? This is a beautifully designed receiver for such low wattage. They just weren't caught up in the high wattage nonsense yet, and they just designed a really beautiful radio, basically a radio chassis with. It's really cool. I like this thing a lot.